What's up, guys? Welcome back to another This Week in Gaming video. Battlefield 5 was revealed, plus there's a lot of other stuff to go over, so let's get right into the news. So Battlefield 5 was revealed on May 23rd at their global reveal event, and they talked about the entire game, starting off with the single player campaign. So there will in fact be a single player campaign, very similar to Battlefield 1, where there will be stories across the globe that don't really link, but there'll be different war stories. And the first one will involve a woman from Norway who has joined the resistance to fight the Nazis. And here's what DICE had to say about the first campaign story. You will be playing as a young resistance fighter about to pay an unthinkable price. It's not that kind of heroic experience we're after. This is about saving your family. It's so up close and personal. That's what we want to give you. Now, personally, I'm happy there's a single player campaign. This one seems very interesting. It's cool that there are different stories from all around the globe, similar to Battlefield 1, so I can't wait to see more on the campaign. So Battlefield 5 will have all of the game modes that you enjoyed from Battlefield 1, plus they announced a couple of additional multiplayer game modes that sound very interesting. The first one is called Combined Arms, which is kind of like a raid type of multiplayer event where you go through 3 or 4 raids, and then you can, on the final raid, you can decide whether you want to go through it or not, or leave the game with what you have already raided. And the final raid will be very tough compared to the other ones. So this sounds really cool. It's up to 4 players co-op that can take part in this multiplayer game mode. And then the next one is Grand Operations, and it is just a bigger scale battle to the original Operations. It will take place with 64 players, and you will battle over 3 or 4 different missions throughout the entire multiplayer game. So this sounds really awesome, just a massive large scale multiplayer game mode that I'm really excited to see more about. They talked about some differences in the gameplay. So in Battlefield 5, unlike the other Battlefields, every player will be able to revive other players. However, the medic will be the only class that can give somebody full health once they are down. It will be a lot different in terms of ammunition. There will be a lot more scarce, so you really have to be more strategic in how you use your ammunition. The environments will be highly destructible, and you will also be able to build fortifications when environments have broken, or if you want to build fortifications just for yourself. So this sounds really cool. They showed a gameplay trailer that looked very, very awesome. The graphics looked amazing. I mean, it didn't look that realistic, but it looked really fun, really cool, and something that I'm really looking forward to. They also talked about the release date, and this will be October 19th. And they also said that there will be no loot crates in this game. Everything like DLC, weapons, and everything that's unlockable you will be getting it through grinding, through playing the multiplayer. So PlayStation had their corporate strategy meeting, and John Codera talked a lot about the PlayStation 4, and he talked about how the PlayStation 4 is entering into the end of its life cycle, basically talking about how now sales for the PlayStation 4 they believe are going to start ramping down, and that they will be able to offset the revenues that they are going to not make from the fact that the PlayStation 4 will sell less with the amount of PlayStation Plus subscriptions that they have on the service. Now, when this came out, a lot of people were worried, like, are they going to end the PlayStation 4? Are they going to announce the PlayStation 5 soon? But really what John Codera here is doing is just trying to explain to the stakeholders that there will be loss in revenue in the gaming division based off of hardware sales, but they will be making up for it with the PlayStation Plus. And this is just a natural progression because the PlayStation 4 has been out since 2013. So obviously hardware sales in 2018 and 2019 are obviously going to start slowing down a bit. Codera also talked about wanting to branch out and make even more console exclusives, as well as taking advantage of the opportunities with add-on content. He also talked about PlayStation VR and said that it is growing, but it isn't growing as much as they thought it would when they first released the device. Codera also talked about some interesting stats for the PlayStation Network, saying that there are over 800 million active users on the PlayStation Network during a month, and that there are over 800 hours of weekly gameplay that take place on the PlayStation Network. And there are 34.2 million PlayStation Plus subscribers. Interesting enough, he also talked about the PlayStation Vita and how they aren't giving up on the PlayStation Vita in Asia and in Japan, saying this: while sales of PS Vita for Europe and America are over, we are still continuing sales for Asia and Japan. But in the end, we're on a direction to wrap it up within 2 years. Codera also talked about handheld gaming and how he doesn't think it's dead, and how they need to incorporate handheld gaming with console gaming seamlessly. And here's what he had to say: I like to think about various options, in what ways we can make more unique experiences by having customers use the portable device already sitting on their hands. We're currently having various considerations with such viewpoint. So clearly Codera has recognized the success of the Nintendo Switch and has recognized that handheld gaming is definitely here to stay for the long term, and they will probably be looking at ways to incorporate what the Nintendo Switch has done with the PlayStation 5. He also talked about a PlayStation Mini coming out, or a PlayStation 1 Classic coming out. didn't really have much to say about it, but did say this: our company is always digging at past assets, and I think there are various ways to do it. There have been discussions happening in the company on what kind of ways are there. So this is pretty vague. It really doesn't mean that they will be coming out with a PlayStation 1 Classic. It could just mean that they're going to remaster old IPs or what have you, but it does definitely see that they are looking at some sort of older assets, bringing it to us in a new form, and they must obviously recognize the success that the NES Classic and the SNES Classic have had, so they will probably be definitely looking further into this. So yeah, those were the big things that came out of this corporate strategy meeting. It was very interesting to see all of the things about PlayStation, what John Codera thinks of how the company is going, and overall, you can definitely say that the PlayStation 4 has been a major success for Sony. We got our first information on Madden 19, and it will include a new animation system called Real Player Motion that is supposedly supposed to have hyper realistic animations. There will be new Madden Ultimate Team progression systems and new Madden Ultimate Team game modes, and the connected franchise will get a little bit of an overhaul where you can be able to select your scheme with your franchise that you're using, as well as being able to find players that fit into that scheme specifically. It will also be released a lot earlier this year. It will be released on August 10th. So if you're interested in Madden, if you're a Madden fan, make sure you keep your eye out on more Madden 19 information. I'm sure that will be coming in the near future. So Capcom will be bringing Resident Evil 7 Biohazard over to the Nintendo Switch, but in a way you wouldn't have thought. They're bringing it over through cloud streaming. So you're going to have to stream the game off the Capcom cloud to play it. Now, this will only be available in Japan to start. However, I'm pretty sure that if you get a Japan account, you can stream it in English in North America, and it will cost $18 to play, and you will only get access to the game for 18 days. It is a relatively interesting thing that they're doing and that they're trying out. However, I've been hearing people who have been trying it out in North America aren't having much success with it. It isn't really working too well. But it is cool how they are bringing this over to the Switch using their cloud-based service, and we may see more companies doing this just because of the fact that the Nintendo Switch isn't that powerful of hardware and it can't handle those bigger, more graphically intensive games. Nintendo was filed for an N64 trademark, which has a lot of people talking about the fact that we may be getting an N64 Classic to follow along the lines of the NES and the SNES Classic. If we don't get it, I won't be that disappointed, but if we do get it, I will definitely be picking up. Let me know in the comments below if you would love to get an N64 Classic Edition. In Japan, Nintendo will be releasing a Nintendo Switch that comes without the dock, the HDMI cable, the power adapter, and the Joy-Con grip. It will literally just be the tablet with two Joy-Cons that you can customize in pretty much any color. And it will cost about $50 less than the original Nintendo Switch with the dock. Honestly, I don't think this is a very good deal because it's only $50 less. You're not saving that much money, and you're not getting so many things. You're not even getting a power adapter with the console. But I think Nintendo is releasing it just for people who want a separate Nintendo Switch to have on the go, and they don't really need that extra stuff that comes with it, like the dock and the Joy-Con grip. But I mean, if you're going to get a second Nintendo Switch, I would rather just spend the extra $50 and get all the other stuff that comes with it because it's not that big of a savings. So that's your news. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to this channel, leave a comment down below about any of the things I talked about, and I'll catch you in the next video.